Hey guys, it's Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and this is going to be my first video question and answer session for you, and I'm really excited to join you today. This is the first time I've done something like this, so bear with me. I wanted to just answer some of my readers' questions in a slightly more lively format. I'm getting tired of just typing all day, so I thought I might try something new. And the response, I put out a blog post about a week ago asking people to just send me their questions, their thoughts, their comments, if there's something they think that I could perhaps help them with. And the response has been absolutely incredible. I've gotten so many incredible, thoughtful emails and so many really interesting questions. And I'd like to get to one today because it's a very big, broad topic. It's a big question, but it's very important and very interesting, so I thought I'd give it a lot of attention. So Dave, who's been reading my guidebook, Overcoming Retroactive Jealousy, writes, "You mentioned being wedded to the imaginary past in Chapter 6. Could you please elaborate on the imaginary past notion? What if it's not imaginary? What if too many details have been divulged and it's not imaginary anymore?" Okay, so first off, thank you very much for your question, Dave. It's a really interesting one. So Dave is basically saying, for those of you who didn't get it, in Chapter 6 of my guidebook, I talk about people being wedded to an imaginary past. And Dave wants me to basically just expand on that and talk a little bit more about what I was getting at there. So let's start off with a very basic premise. And that premise is that the past doesn't exist, period. So what do I mean when I say that? Okay, well, on a very fundamental level, the now is all that exists. The now is all we're capable of experiencing. The now is life, in essence. That's all we're capable of experiencing. We cannot experience the past. The only element of the past that we can experience is some sort of memories of the past, or what I call it, hallucinations based around the past. What do I mean by hallucinations? Well, I write in my guidebook that sufferers of retroactive jealousy are essentially fighting a phantom enemy. And by that I mean they're fighting something that fundamentally does not exist. So they're fighting, a lot of people are fighting sort of memories of the past, their ideas of what happened in the past, their ideas of what their partner was like in the past. And all these things just, they don't exist at a very fundamental level. But a lot of people get hung up in the idea that, well, my partner has told me all of these details about their past, and therefore it's very real to me. I understand that, but you may think you know a lot of things about your partner's past, and you have all these crazy mental images in your head, all these crazy projections of what you think happened and what she said, and what did they do, and what were her past boyfriends like, and all this stuff. But none of it really exists in a very fundamental sense. So when we have a memory of something, our memory is informed by our experience right now. Our ideas about what we are now as a human being, projections of the past that may or may not be true. And over time, ideas get really messed up, in essence. Ideas about the past in particular. Ideas become faded, our memories become quite distorted, and so memories are not memories in the sense that we're usually led to believe. We usually think that a memory is our idea of something that happened in the past. But in fact, a memory is constantly in motion, constantly changing, just like us. So if I remember an experience I had 2 years ago, today, if I remember the same experience tomorrow, it's going to be a completely different memory. So if you keep going down this path, you realize pretty quickly that the past doesn't exist in any sense. There's nothing about the past that we can get to. There's no fundamental truth about the past. There's no fundamental experience that we can have of the past. The past is gone. The past is dead. And all we have, really, is right now. The only way we're capable of living, the only way we're capable of experiencing real joy, happiness, fulfillment, peace, is in the present moment, is right now. And the more you let the past get to you, the more you get hung up on what I call an imaginary past, the more you're incapable of living right now, the more you're incapable of truly living. I'm sure I don't need to convince most sufferers of retroactive jealousy that they need to let go of the past. But in my book, I go deeper into this notion that the past really doesn't exist in any sense of the term. And getting there intellectually is fairly simple. Okay, I get it. I'm only capable of living now, and the past doesn't exist, and memories are informed by the present, therefore they're inaccurate. My partner's reflections of the past are completely inaccurate. All of these things. But getting to that knowledge sort of at a deeper, sort of all-encompassing way, knowing it in your bones, essentially, really knowing that, is difficult. And there are a number of different ways that you can get to that knowledge. But one of them that I recommend, anybody who's read my book knows this, is meditation. Meditation really helps you engage with the idea that the now is all there is and the past doesn't exist. And the past, if you get deeper into meditation, if you start incorporating meditation as part of your daily routine, you'll start to feel better, I would say usually pretty quickly. And you start to really understand this idea that the past doesn't exist at a deeper, much deeper level. Now, meditation is only part of the picture in terms of getting to that knowledge, but it's a big one. And in my book, I go into a lot of different ways where you can sort of understand this idea about the imaginary past differently and better. But it's fundamentally up to you. If you put in the work into doing these practices, and if you put in the work into doing the exercises that I lay out, you're going to get relief really quickly. So I hope that helps, Dave. Thank you for your question. Keep doing the exercises in the book. Keep doing those practices. Keep putting in the work, and you'll start to see results really quickly. So thank you to everyone watching, and I'll see you really soon.